Hello everyone and welcome back to The Attic. Last week my dog Frisbee sat in that tiny chair back there. Many of you Instagrammed it, justifying an otherwise pointless purchase of a chair too small for an adult and too boring for a child. Well, now that the chair has been used on TV, my accountant informs me that it is a tax write-off, which is great. Unfortunately, my accountant is also a WASP, so I'm not sure how much he knows about human finance. He spent most of his time at the accounting firm Ernst & Stung. And you can tell he's an accountant because he wrote that joke. And speaking of jokes, the president is reeling politically from his deadly incompetence during the coronavirus pandemic, and now he and his sycophants on state TV are trying to distract from that by obsessively spinning wild conspiracy theories about Barack Obama. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Well, it's just another day in the rolling nightmare that is the Trump era. I wish I could just walk out of his presidency the way he walked out of that press conference on Monday when reporters dared to ask him even mildly challenging questions.
Okay, anybody else? Please, go ahead in the back, please.
I have two questions.
No, it's okay.
But you pointed to me. I have two questions, Mr. President.
Next, please.
But you called on me.
I did, and you didn't respond, and now I'm calling on
Sorry,
the young lady in the back, please.
I just wanted to let my colleague finish,
Okay.
but can I ask you a
Ladies
question,
and gentlemen,
please?
thank you very much. Appreciate
But you
it.
called
Thank
on
you very much.
You know, it's a lot less dramatic when you try to storm out of your own press conference and in front of the cameras, no less. It's like trying to walk out of a meeting on Zoom and forgetting where your door is. All right, you know what? This is ridiculous. I quit. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Had it with you. Also, could you guys log out? I need this Zoom room for my dog's birthday party in like 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna wear pants. Not shoes, but pants. Also, dude, you can't just walk out. You left all your props on the table.
This major commitment is possible because of the massive mobilization of American industry, including Puritan Medical Products, U.S. Cotton, Abbott Labs, and Thermo Fisher. Some of these incredible companies produced rapidly for us, and their products are here with us this afternoon. These are all different products that were literally just developed. And if you can imagine that, and these are the best machines and the best equipment anywhere in the world.
Yo, cool. It's like QVC if the C stood for coronavirus. Where have I seen Trump pull that move before?
There's the water company. I mean, we sell water. Trump steaks. Where are the steaks? Do we have steaks? We have Trump steaks. And by the way, if you want to take one, we'll charge you about, what, $50 a steak nominal. And it's the magazine. It's great. Anybody want one? Here, take one. And by the way, the winery, you see the wine. We make the finest wine, as good a wine as you can get anywhere in the world. And I know the press is extremely honest, so I won't offer them any. But if they want, they can take a bottle of wine home.
His timing on the free wine was 4 years too early. He could be raking it in right now. Also, wine. Should be handing out tequila shots at your press conference. Everyone get blackout drunk, because I'd love if we all forgot this ever happened. The president pulled the same move for coronavirus tests that he previously used for his crappy steaks and wine. If the pattern holds, we'll be back here in 4 years with Trump selling steaks, nose swabs, and zombie repellent. Living through this presidency means living in a constant state of being both shocked and numb at the same time. In fact, that's what they're counting on. One advisor to the White House coronavirus task force told the Washington Post, "The question is, will people become anesthetized to it?" Well, I'm pretty sure Trump has been anesthetized since day one. His presidency has been like one long YouTube video of a kid coming home from the dentist. Is this real life? And Trump's face is always frozen in that dead-eyed grimace like he wears a night cream made of Novocaine, which incidentally you can find on the Goop store under Moon Powders. Of course, the reality is Americans are not anesthetized to it. The vast majority of Americans overwhelmingly support social distancing measures and say public health is more important than prematurely reopening the economy. And in a new poll out yesterday, 54% of Americans continue to say the U.S. government is doing a poor job preventing the spread of COVID-19, and only 36% say they consider Trump a trusted source of information about the outbreak. Wow, that is shocking. I mean, how could you not trust the guy who said heat would kill the coronavirus, that cases would go down to zero, that it would go away in April, that a vaccine would come out soon, that hydroxychloroquine could be a gift from heaven, and that it could be cured by eating Lysol wipes out of a salad bowl with a fork and a knife? And for a little flavor, throw in some croutons and some balsamic disinfectant. And if you compare Trump's approval rating to governors and foreign leaders who've handled the outbreak competently, they look even worse. Like New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, whose handling has won more than 80% public approval, well above any leader in the group of 7 wealthy democracies. Or the popularity of governors who have responded much more aggressively to the crisis on both sides of the aisle.
In Massachusetts, 84% approve of how Republican Governor Charlie Baker has handled the coronavirus outbreak, according to a new poll out this week. California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom hit 83% approval of his performance last month, nearly double his pre-coronavirus numbers. Jay Inslee in Washington is also way up. He received a 75% positive approval rating in another poll.
83%. Do you know what Donald Trump would do for an 83% approval rating? I don't think he's that high among Trump's ages 30 to 60. And Trump is clearly aware that governors are much more popular than he is because he sees their numbers and wants credit for them. On Tuesday, he tweeted, "Remember this, every governor who has sky-high approval on their handling of the coronavirus, and I am happy for them all, could in no way have gotten those numbers or had that success without me and the federal government's help. From ventilators to testing, we made it happen. Also, Hillary only won the popular vote because people hated me, so you're welcome." And no, you didn't make it happen. You can't tell states to get lost when they want help, then claim credit when they succeed. This isn't Don Jr.'s sixth grade science project. Idiot, you're not supposed to pour baking soda in the volcano, you're supposed to pour it in your mouth to clean out the germs. Also, if you get an A, tell the teacher it was my idea. But anything else, anything lower, you're on your own. When states came to you desperate for help with ventilators and testing, you and your Doltergeist son-in-law told them over and over again they were on their own.
It's going to be up to the states to use that capability. The states have local points where they can go. The governor can call the mayors, and the mayors can call representatives, and everybody. Everything is perfect. And that's the way it should work and always should work. The states should have been building their stockpile. We have almost 10,000 in our stockpile, and we've been building it, and we've been supplying it. But the states should be building. We're a backup. We're not an ordering clerk. We're a backup.
The notion of the federal stockpile was it's supposed to be our stockpile. It's not supposed to be state stockpiles that they then use. The states should know how many ventilators they have in their states. And by the way, some governors you speak to are senators, and they don't know what's in their state. Some governors I'll speak to, and they'll know to the number how many ventilators they have in their state, because that's the first thing a good manager will do.
How would you know what a good manager is supposed to do? You're less qualified for your job than that one production assistant on a movie set who's only there because their dad runs the studio. You know, the one who shows up 3 hours late in a fedora and sandals and says he was busy taking photos of graffiti down by the 405. Tyler, can you just hold the slate? Nah, man, I'm gonna go grab a coconut water and take a nap in Mr. Hanks's trailer. Also, the job is clearly wearing on you, bud, because this is what you looked like 4 years ago. What happened, man? Did you get bit on the neck by Stephen Miller? You used to look like an all-American preppy, and now you look like you're gonna dart out from a coral reef to snag a passing fish. If you get any paler, you're gonna start blending into the walls at the White House. Trump knows he's never gonna get good marks after his horrific handling of the coronavirus pandemic, which has left over 80,000 dead and the unemployment rate at its highest since the Great Depression. Just yesterday, the nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, warned of needless suffering and death if states reopen too soon, and said that little spikes of coronavirus could turn into full-blown outbreaks. And yet, instead of taking that danger seriously and correcting his mistakes, the porridge-brained adult toddler who's in charge of keeping us all safe has spent the last few days obsessively rage-tweeting vague conspiracy theories about his predecessor. Like when he tweeted out the words Obamagate in all caps. And when he was asked to explain what the so-called Obamagate scandal he keeps tweeting about actually was, he just couldn't.
Mr. President, in one of your Mother's Day tweets, you appear to accuse President Obama of the biggest political crime in American history by far. Those were your words. What crime exactly are you accusing President Obama of committing, and do you believe the Justice Department should prosecute him?
Obamagate. It's been going on for a long time. It's been going on from before I even got elected. And it's a disgrace that it happened. And if you look at what's gone on, and if you look at now all of this information that's being released, and from what I understand, that's only the beginning. Some terrible things happened, and it should never be allowed to happen in our country again. And you'll be seeing what's going on over the coming weeks. But I wish you'd write honestly about it, but unfortunately, you choose not to do so. Yeah, John, please.
Crime. What is the crime exactly that you're accusing him of?
You know what the crime is. The crime is very obvious to everybody.
No, we don't, and apparently neither do you. Trump's so lazy he can't even be bothered to come up with the details of his own fake scandal anymore. Look, I came up with the name, okay? How much do you want me to do? It's like a screenwriter who pitches a movie based on the title alone. All right, you guys ready? It's called Death Train, action movie starring Vin Diesel. Oh, that's great. What's it about? It's got like explosions, tons of explosions. Okay, cool. And then what happens? like fast, like super fast cars. Yeah. But like, what's the plot? It's Vin Diesel, but it's just, you don't need any of that. Trump says Obamagate like he's playing a version of Taboo, where the only words that aren't forbidden are Obama and gate. So it's like he's Obama, so it's Obamagate, and it's Obama, all the information out, it's Obamagate. Come on, it's Obamagate, it's Obamagate. It was bull. The answer was bull. And now the president's allies in the GOP and right-wing media are actually calling on the Department of Justice to prosecute Obama officials and possibly even Obama himself for whatever the hell Obamagate is supposed to be.
Bill Barr has found them out, and they are developing, along with John Durham, Bill Barr is, a massive conspiracy case against a host of people in the Obama FBI and DOJ. What Obama did in that office was sedition on that day. There's a conspiracy indictment coming down the track.
It's time we ask, what did Obama and Biden know, and when did they know it? People are constantly phoning our offices, wanting to know when all the people that did the injustice to Flynn were going to be prosecuted. And I think they ought to be prosecuted.
Oh yeah, people are constantly phoning your offices wanting to know when Obama will be prosecuted. And who are these people? Hello. My name is Mr. Flag Desk Phone. I'm a foreign person. I'm from whatever state you're from. And I want you to prosecute Obama for whatever it is he did. You know what it is. Also, I'm glad to hear Joe DeGeneva is back on the airwaves. Do you remember this guy? I'm sure you don't, unless you're confusing him with the Time to Make the Donuts guy. He's a right-wing lunatic who used to be on Fox News a lot and who was on Trump's legal team for like a second before Trump, I'm guessing, saw his mustache and told him he looks like an extra from Boogie Nights. DeGeneva doesn't have an office. He just keeps all his papers in the back of a taxi cab. If you want to reach him, you probably have to call a butcher shop in Secaucus and wait a few hours until he's back from the OTB. He looks like he got kicked out of Studio 54 for eating meatballs on the dance floor. I warned you once already, Joe. People can't dance when they're slipping on the sauce. They can't dance the disco, Joe. Anyway, DeGeneva is unfortunately someone the president listens to, and he, along with GOP senators and other Trump allies, are now calling for the president's political opponents, including possibly even Obama himself, to be prosecuted, which is crazy because Obama wasn't even in office when any of the cases in the Russia investigation were brought. They've already blamed Obama for not stopping coronavirus 3 years before it happened. What else do they want to blame Obama for? Obama's the one who flushed the toilet during that Supreme Court hearing.
And what the FCC has said is that when the subject matter of the call ranges to the topics, then the call is transformed.
Don't get me wrong, I don't blame him. I mean, I think it's probably all that roughage Michelle makes him eat. There's honestly so much happening right now that it's impossible not to think the very survival of our system of government is at stake. The Attorney General is shredding the rule of law to protect the president's political allies and target his enemies. The president's favorite TV channels are pushing deranged propaganda about both the origins of the coronavirus pandemic and the Russia investigation. Senate Republicans are standing in lockstep behind the president as he spreads conspiracy theories and tries to use Americans as cannon fodder to prematurely reopen the economy. And just yesterday, the president's lawyers were arguing that he is above the law in front of a Supreme Court that includes 4 conservative justices appointed by presidents who lost the popular vote. Our government is like the Cats movie. To make it work, we're going to have to get rid of all the dicks. And even then, it's not going to be great. In fact, yesterday in front of the Supreme Court, Trump's lawyers argued that banks shouldn't have to produce Trump's tax returns as required by law, and that he should be granted temporary presidential immunity. Trump's lawyer, Jay Sekulow, told the court, the president is not to be treated as an ordinary citizen. Well, I mean, in a way, I agree that this president shouldn't be treated as an ordinary citizen, but I mean it more like how you'd say Godzilla shouldn't be treated as an ordinary lizard. And yeah, I know there are some of you out there who think, so what if he's a radioactive sea monster? He'd still make a good pet for the kids. So amid a horrific public health emergency that most voters agree he's basically mishandled, the president is looking to prosecute his political opponents and elevate himself above the law. That's because he knows the coronavirus pandemic and the cratering economy threaten his political survival. So he and his allies on state TV are casting about for anyone else to blame, and now they're obsessing, as they have for years, over Obama.
What did Obama know, and when did he know it? Also, documents revealing bombshell new information on what Barack Obama knew about deep state spying.
The Obama administration really was poison, and they bullied a lot of people into pretending it wasn't.
Barack Obama's plan to derail his successor unfolded with very little opposition along the way.
It's not about FBI misbehavior. It's about Obama. President Obama. Barack Obama. Obama.
Obama. Obama. Obama.
This guy's got some nerve, Barack Obama.
Fox hosts say the name Obama like it's their safe word. Their obsession with Obama is akin to gossipy cheerleaders spreading rumors about the prom queen because they're mad she won't hang out with them. I heard Jessica told Jenna to trick Donald into hanging out with Vlad. So somebody should look into that, please. I think the GOP and Fox News would honestly rather live in an alternate universe where Obama was president, not Trump. Then they could at least lie and tell themselves they were a ragtag band of rebels instead of the marketing department for the Death Star. First of all, I think we should change the name. Yes, Lisa, I know it was Vader's idea, but I'm not afraid of Darth Vader. Look, over 80,000 Americans have died, another 33 million are out of work, and these people are still obsessed with Barack Obama. We're dealing with a public health crisis, an economic crisis, and a crisis of democracy and the rule of law. And if we somehow make it through all of that intact, what we're seeing now
should never be allowed to happen in our country again.
This has been A Closer Look. Please continue to give to City Harvest. Their work never stops as so many New Yorkers turn to them to put food on their tables. If you're watching this online, you can hit the donate button. Stay safe. Wash your hands. We love you.